So we're wrapping up our chat about should I speak at a conference and what can I expect when I do? So we want to talk about what happens after the session. And so Kristen had a couple of questions about that. So go ahead, Kristen.
Yeah, so the first one is when you plan to present at multiple conferences, do you recommend creating a niche for yourself by presenting various renditions of the same broad topic, or will that pigeonhole you?
Well, I'm going to let Bianca start with this one.
Okay. I have a lot of thoughts about this as someone who reviews a lot of conference proposals. I think you have to try and find a balance between the two, because realistically, no one can present thoughtfully to every single topic. You got to pick what your space is, because you can't be an expert in everything. And a lot of the time, sometimes I'll see proposals come in and, they're from someone who has played in one space before and they're trying to play in another space. And sometimes I'll have seen them play in that space before in other places and go, oh, okay, I see what they're doing. And sometimes it kind of feels like I can talk about anything. And it's challenging. We all aren't experts in everything. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you don't want to pigeonhole yourself so narrowly that you can't find different aspects of that topic to talk about. Like if you become the expert in ebooks made in PowerPoint, granted, not a ton of people are playing in that space, but how many different presentations can you get out of that?
Yeah, it's a really good point. For me, I know personally, I talk about augmented reality, and actually was just having a strategy session with my partner in Mischief and Mayhem, Destry, earlier today about how we might want, it might be time to sort of retire, the getting started and move into more of these are the really fun things that you can do with it. Here's a different way to think about it. Maybe here's the theory around designing it. So I just gave away an awful lot of information, but the point is that I've picked AR, right, as sort of a swim lane, if you will. And what I don't want to do is become nothing but white noise, because every time you turn around, there's Betty's AR session, and it's always Betty's AR session. And it's not that there won't ever be people to come to that, because there's always different people that decide to come. It's that the conference might not pick you because they've already picked you 2 or 3 other times. So I guess, yes, you should find, exactly like what Bianca said, you should find a topic that you can wiggle around in, rather than just like this teeny tiny place that now, if you find that teeny tiny place, that's great, but just know it's going to last like maybe a year, 18 months. And then you're going to have to find something new. Did we answer your question?
That term. Yeah. Okay. I love that term you use, swim lane. I think that's a perfect term for it. You still have some room to play within your topic.
And that thought process that Betty was just talking about, that she was talking through with Destry, that's a really great thought process. It's just like, what does it mean to explore other aspects of your topic once you've kind of, you've played around with a certain kind of presentation for a while? Mm-hmm. Thank you for working out loud, Betty.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't even know I was doing that. And I'm so happy that I did it. It's great.
What about the conference presentation experience made you want to return and present again?
Other than the free entry to another conference?
Blinding flash of the obvious, right? Definitely that is a huge plus, is that, oh, by the way, you get to come for free. But also, like, I have met so many amazing people that are not just on the speaker circuit, though it's really cool to meet some of those folks, but I've met some folks that were in my sessions or in a session like an adjacent session, that I've continued to stay in contact with. So the networking is amazing. It's like you get to go to a place, speak about something you're passionate about, and then meet other people that are passionate about the things that you are, and also things that are close to what you are. And so you get to learn from them. It's really about for me, it's about the people. It's about getting to hang out with those folks again and again. Like I tell people, I can't wait till we can go to conferences again so I can go and see my friends. Not that I don't have friends at home, but there's all these other friends I have from all over the world, that this is a wonderful community that we can kind of get together and do the things that we love. So that's what it's about for me, for sure.
It's like your summer camp friends.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
A lot more work than summer camp. So.
That's fair.
But yeah, still, it's like summer camp. Exactly.
And for me, I mean, that's a huge aspect of it. But I also just, and I think this is something that's really common in learning and development people. I really like just helping people and just sharing what I know and be like, hey, I hope this makes your life easier. And, when you have a presentation that really clicks with people, they'll come back to you later and say, hey, I got to use this at work. It really helped. Or thank you for making what felt overwhelming feel less intimidating. Or thanks for inspiring me to do this cool new project. Like, you can make a real difference in making people's lives easier or more fun, or helping them justify a new project, or take on a challenge that they'd previously been like, I don't know about that. It's cool.
It is cool. It's cool to meet cool people, collaborate with them, hang out with them, and then, just like Bianca said, like, make a difference in their lives, and then you guys just sort of ripple effect in other people's. So
For sure.
So
That's really cool.
Have we convinced you yet?
Oh, beyond.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
absolutely. Absolutely. I am really excited, and I feel like I am on the way of gaining the confidence to like be prepared to submit a proposal, really explore what I'm passionate about and what I'd like to share. Because I think, what you both touched on, helping others in the field and really advancing the thought and the direction of the industry is really, it feels empowering, and it feels like you're making a difference. I feel really inspired and empowered to apply to present at a conference now. Like, I feel like this is just the first step.
So what do you think you might propose on? Like, I'm not holding you to it, just spitballing ideas.
Yeah, so I've thought about it a lot, and a topic I'm really interested in recently is around how to adaptively assess performance in game-based learning or in the immersive space.
Mm-hmm. Bianca's eyebrows went up. Did you see that? She's excited about that one.
I am.
I'm really
I need more games proposals.
Oh, that's a great hint. And I'm really interested in data. And so I have a research background in cognitive science. And so research has always fascinated me, and I love collecting data about learners. And so it's one of the topics that I feel really passionate about, and that I could just really go on and on talking about and researching myself. So,
well, I think that's a great topic too, along with the first one. So you kind of have two that you're kind of thinking about. It sounds like data, and then also the first one that you said that I cannot repeat. What is it?
Yeah, it was adaptively assessing performance in game-based learning.
Yes, I knew there was a lot of A's in there. So it looks like you have kind of two, and I'll tell you, both of those are of interest, at least as far as I can tell, and I think Bianca will agree. I know there's a massive part of the industry is trying to really wrap their head around the data part.
Yes.
And so folks will go to conference sessions about it for 2 years before they actually kind of can get it. So any take you can bring on that, I think, would be welcomed.
Yeah, and in both of those, from both the games and simulation space, as well as the pure data space, people are really looking for information on, okay, I get what this is. How do I really do something with it? That's where
What's
I think
the practical
application.
Struggling. How do I do with it?
Yeah. What does this look like in the real world?
When you're applying for a conference, and do you apply as a representative of your company, or do you apply as a representative of the college or university that you had once represented? Like, how do you figure that out?
I would say people either apply as a representative of their company or apply as themselves individually. I haven't seen anyone apply as connected to the school that they graduated from. Mm-hmm. But whether you apply as yourself, I'm an individual human being, or hi, I'm Bianca Woods from the Learning Guild. Some of it's going to depend on what your organization is comfortable with. Some organizations are super keen to have themselves represented at conferences. They feel like it makes themselves look good. Others are more uncomfortable about that. Sometimes it'll also depend on the topic that you're sharing. Like if you're sharing a case study from a place that you worked and you're still working there, they might want your name attached to it and their name attached to it. If you're sharing something that's a personal interest, it might not be related to your actual work. Your organization might be less comfortable. It's kind of a matter of if you're at a bigger company asking your manager if you have one. Because a lot of times it's good to ask work if they're cool with having their name on it. I've had some people propose for conferences and then later on go, well, hey, my workplace has asked if we could take our work name off. It happens.
I think that covers it. I mean, it's really a matter of if your business wants your organization wants their name attached or not. And I wouldn't take it personally if they don't. I think that is really it's just a preference. So for example, I know you work for a virtual reality company, Tailspin. And so if you were to speak on data, they may or may not want to be linked to that. Not because it's negative. It's just not pushing people towards, VR. If you were to spin it and say, hey, I'm going to talk about data, especially when it comes to immersive experiences, they might be like, oh yeah, tag us to that. Yeah. So it's just going to be dependent on what they decide. My current company is, I work for a Ken Blanchard company, and they are happy to have me there as a rep of Ken Blanchard. They're also happy to support me as a rep for If You Ask Betty. That's very rare and wonderful, and I will never leave them. And I just put that in the video. It's amazing, right? It's amazing. And I'm happy to go for either. It just sort of depends on the topic, right? So if I'm going to talk about AR, being a rep for Ken Blanchard, I'm happy to do that, but it doesn't really connect to their business. So I could see why they'd be like, it's fine if you ask Betty. So hopefully that helps. I think you just got to ask those questions at work and see what they want you to do.
Yeah, that definitely helps. And I think in just sorting, depending on topic, I would either apply as my freelancer role or, if related to my company, ask permission and if that is appropriate.
Yeah. One tangential note, because this comes up sometimes when people move companies or what have you. I can't speak to every conference, but every conference I have been involved in the planning of, the session belongs to the person, not the company, if it's done through a proposal. So if you propose and you get accepted and you change jobs, you get to keep the session. The session doesn't belong to your organization.
And organizations do try to come and get those sessions. So that's wonderful that's been established, because it can come up. So Kristen, would you give us, if you're willing, in case people are listening and would like to contact you, would you give out your contact information? How can they contact you?
Yeah, absolutely. I could be found on LinkedIn under Kristen Torrance, and also on Twitter under Chris Torrance LXD.
Great. How about you, Bianca?
Bianca Woods on LinkedIn, eGeeking on Twitter, and you can reach out to me at bwoods@learningguild.com if you want to talk shop about your proposal ideas.
Yeah. And I'm Betty Danowitz on LinkedIn. You can find me anywhere else that's social at If You Ask Betty. If you're thinking about applying, contact one of us if you have questions, if you have more questions than what you've heard here, if you just want to chat through an idea, any of the three of us, plus Brian, I'll flash his information on the screen as well, are more than willing to chat with you. We hope that you'll apply. We hope that you'll put yourself out there and share your ideas and your thoughts, because that's really what it's about. Any last words, ladies?
Thank you. This has been incredible. I feel so good and empowered after talking to you ladies and Brian.
All right.
Awesome.